I'm Brandon, man, and I'm chatting with Stacks.
San Antonio is the baddest chapter in the nation.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today I got Loco. What's up, man?
Imagine knowing that you can destroy somebody that's punching you in the face, and you got to let them do that.
No,
I mean,
I
and we're
don't
not
think I
talking
can.
for some. We're not talking for some, reason that is honorable. We're talking about a dishonor. Let me dishonor you in front of dude. There's guys that got jumped, stomped, and put back to prospect, and then we're calling them brother in 6 more months. Like, bro, do you know that you not only did you create the worst memory and betrayal in this man's mind? Like I said, man, if you think that guy gets pinched doing some dirt and he don't remember that, you're tripping. You're tripping. Oh, well, that's not loyalty. That's not. Was it loyalty when you were kicking this man in his face? Took his bike, took everything from him, took his patches, what he earned. It didn't matter if he could have did some real dirt. It didn't matter. That didn't mean you were
Wow.
bulletproof. One of our dead brothers, Tigger, he got dotted more than anybody in the club, and he's got 3 bodies underneath him. He's dead.
Walk me through someone getting punched in the face.
Well, I can walk you through my experience.
Yeah, let me
I
hear.
mean, I can't
Let me
really walk
hear.
you through anybody else's. So I had a big dumb sergeant. This dude was like extremely stupid, and he was extremely just like he was soft as kitten paws, dog. No scary in him whatsoever. The dude was a straight up punk, and he had this mean persona everywhere he went. He was always and he took the stuff too seriously, bro. Way too seriously. Like everywhere, it didn't matter. We were at Walmart, we could be checking out, and just me mugging everybody. That kind of cat. I'm like, anyway. So he held his title. He was the sergeant. He held his title over everybody's heads, at least in the chapter. He'd throw temper tantrums and cry and moan and complain when his bike would break down because he'd never buy a dang new bike. He always would be. He's one of them cats that, oh yeah, I just gotta fix it. He'd spend money on stupid crap and always needing cash. Just like there's so many complaints I had about this dude. When he actually had to hit me, it was that much more embarrassing for me. Like it was that much more. All that compiled up. So one day I called one of the presidents, his daddy, one of the presidents of one of the a notorious chapter. His dad was a federal informant. So when that news got told to me by a national that I became friends with that left the club, I called one of my brothers and I was like, "Hey man, we got to stop talking to this cat. His daddy was an informant." And I'm like, and he's like, "Oh, for real? Who'd you hear that from?" And I'm like, our, our ex-national, because he was my neighbor. We were like physical neighbors, and we were close. He was like, "All right, well, I want to talk to him too." So I got them in or I kind of got them in contact. And what I didn't know that guy that I had told that to, I went and told on me. So my own people kind of snitched on me. You do things to get a little higher up, and he did me dirty, bro. And it came out. And I called that president like a man, and I was like, "Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie. I got a lot to lose. Are you an informant?" I just straight up called him like that. And he smiled. He was on FaceTime, and he smiled and said, "No, man, we're gonna figure this out." So I get a phone call saying, "Hey, man, don't show up to this card game. You're gonna get beat down." And I was like, "What? I'm a full patch member." He said, "Don't come on. I'm full patch, full
But
patch."
now, as a full patch, can you fight a full patch member?
That's getting not a president, big dog. Not a president. That's not an offer that was given. You don't just go offering. Imagine you say, "Hey, well, can I fight you?" And they say no. You see how things can kind of escalate from there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And he had like a cult following too. His chapter was not only his chapter, but most of the nation is real. They're on his balls like a lot. He's like the savior. Makes sense,
So
you know.
that matters. The popularity in the person
Yeah,
matters.
yeah. So we end up getting there. They take it was like a court. It was at a small court to the side of the bar in downtown Houston, and they take me over there, and it was kind of like everybody's nervous for you, especially people that care about you, because you have to see this a lot. And so when you see somebody you care about kind of get ushered around the corner into a dark spot, and a bunch of sergeants and people that are notorious for handing out punishments get to have their fun for the week, you know. So I go in there and I stand up straight. My boss is there. He threw me straight under the bus. My boss, he's the one who told me not to, like, people are telling me not to show up. Like they're gonna take your stuff, they're gonna leave you with bike lists. And I'm like, all right, whatever, man. I'm just gonna man up to it. The guy who told on me didn't even show up to the card game. Yeah. Didn't even
So,
show up.
but what about the guy who told you this information? What
He
happened
was
to
my
him?
boss. Oh yeah, he's been out the club. No, he was
Oh,
already out
so
the
he
club.
wasn't in the club. He was out
No,
already.
yeah, he wasn't. He was out already, but that was a national. So when it comes from somebody of that reputation, you go, man, hold up. Your heart kind of skips a beat, right?
Yeah.
So so I get pulled around back, and he had his sergeant, his favorite butt buddy or whatever, next to him, and he was like, "Hey, man, so I hear this, this, and this, and we've already talked on FaceTime. Things changed quick. His tune changed, motives changed, and it was like, oh, you just wanted to get me here. Cool, bet." And I said, absolutely. So and so told me this, and this in front of everybody, just like, and so it got super awkward for a second. And he's like, you know, this is going to be really bad for you. I was going to drag you through the street, which he couldn't have done it on his own, but all those guys could have very much did it. But I was going to drag you through the street and embarrass you. But because I respect you, I'm going to let your boss figure out what he wants to do with you. And my boss, being the pansy that he was like, you put me in a bad spot, man. And I was like, do whatever you got to do. I'm pissed, bro. I'm embarrassed, pissed, shook up. So the punishment was handed down. He said, hey, we're going to just appease them. You're just going to have to take a dot. Well, I'm like, all right, cool. All right. My sergeant comes over. We go behind the dumpster. Everybody's still watching. I have to get my punishment. We go behind a dumpster so the camera doesn't catch it, like a brick wall dumpster area where the cars were parked. And he's looking at me and, all right, you ready? You ready? Don't move. Don't move. I'm like, shut up and just hit me. We're brothers at this time, right? Shut up and just hit me. So he cocks back and he punched me in the face. He looks at me. He's like, it didn't black. So it's got to be a visible black eye. So I'm like, dude, I'm covered in blue. Like, you ain't blacking me. It's already blue, you idiot. And I said, just do it again. Do it again. So he had to keep punching me until it blacked. And then I
How many
looked at my
times
boss
he hit you? How many
just
times?
twice, just
Yeah.
twice. And
Yeah.
he said, which was awesome because one of my brothers I love very much. I watched him get smashed, bro. Oh my God, relentlessly by his essay, and it was uh they had a beef with each other. He was still a prospect, and it was brutal, bro. I mean, we're talking like, you ever seen a Pumpkinhead?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
was
it was
that
like
over? What was that for?
he had a beef with him. He just had a beef with him. He didn't like him. Yeah, but anyways, I pray that guy gets out. He's definitely being screwed over. But anyways, so so he he got his black eye or whatever, and I told the chapter that he hit like he hit like a girl and this and that. So they were talking about taking my patches and all this other stuff. So compiling the problems, re-prospecting me, and I'm just trying to keep my manhood intact. Like, what else you want me to do? Cry?
Yeah.
You
What
want
are
me
you
to
thinking at this point? Are you thinking if they take my patches, fuck this? Like,
I'm thinking, to say that you don't think violence towards your brother when something that like that happens is a lie. You think really bad things. You think really bad things, and at the end of the day, making sure this thing's charged. Hold up. You think really really bad things, and I had already told my wife, well, she was a PBOL at the time, And I told her, I said, baby, you know, we had our things set up to where if things went south and my bike was taken, that, hey, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm going. Hey, just this was the last place you seen me. You know, just covering but the place that they had the card game was so public, it would have been hard for anything like putting me in the grave would have been. And it wasn't even to that point. It was just like, hey, we're gonna teach him a lesson kind of thing. And so I was spared at that moment, which I'm thankful for because things could have been really bad for me and we wouldn't have be talking the same way. Something drastic would have happened. But there had been multiple occasions like this that happened in the past that would drive people to the beast, you know. And a lot of cats, they don't understand the reality of it, and they think, "Oh, this is a fairy tale, this, that, and the other." I mean, oh, whatever, whatever. I
Doesn't
mean,
sound like one to me.
if you want to experience it for yourself, go. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. Like most of these people that have these comments that are sideways, all they're gonna have to do is meet these guys one time and realize they're garbage.